Hello dear fans, friends and subscribers. Welcome to this Sunday edition of the Cricket Happening Show with your host Ram. And on this particular Cricket Happening Show, the main focus would be on the match between New Zealand and England. And as I said yesterday, it was definitely not going to be easy for New Zealand. In fact, it was not easy for England. Sorry, England were the ones who were batting, and in fact England finished on the identical score of what New Zealand made. In fact, it was 350 was the score that New Zealand made in the first innings, and that was the identical total that England got in their first innings. In fact, it was thanks to, in the main, to Stuart Broad, who managed to take them to that score of 350. So everything was even Stevens, and this was the eighth time in the annals of Test history that both the teams have ended on the same total. So nothing to really, not an inch given, not an inch taken. And New Zealand, in their second dig, have made the match very, very interesting. In fact, they adopted an aggressive approach to things, and they put on 338 for 6 at close of play on the third day, with two more days to go, and this match definitely is going to draw a result. There is no doubt about it, whether it is going to be New Zealand actually drawing the series, leveling the series, or is it going to be England actually winning the series. So that's on everyone's lips here. And New Zealand, I thought, played very well. In fact, Watling went on to his fifth Test century and his first against the Englishmen, and I'll be talking about that. So New Zealand have really, really made the match very, very interesting going into the fourth day, as they closed at 338 for 6. So it was all to Brendan McCullum really adopting a very aggressive approach as far as batting is concerned, as far as his team was concerned. Now, the other thing, the historic series. In fact, as you know, international cricket coming to Pakistan after a gap of 6 years, and finally it was a bit sad to see that the series ended with a whimper, and the whimper was brought out by the rain gods, as rain gods came in and put an early end to this one-day series, where Pakistan definitely won the series 2-0, as this match was called off, and also Zimbabwe had to pack their bags. So, as I said, the first international cricket seen in Pakistan in a gap of 6 years was definitely a success, as Zimbabwe finally had to pack their bags and leave for the airport, and so it's all over. So Zimbabwe returning back after they have to catch their flight to Zimbabwe. So that tour has ended, but unfortunately it ended with rain gods coming in and intervening. As far as Pakistan were concerned, they made 296, which was a good score. They definitely had their struggles against the Zimbabwean spinners, but still they managed to put 296 on the board. And then the Zimbabwean openers really screeched along, I would say. Even though 296 was a pretty daunting target, you definitely required 6 runs per over, but the Zimbabwean openers were really, really screeching along at 68 for no loss after 9 overs. So they were really going at a clip of 7 runs per over, but then the rain was the one which intervened, and finally the series ended. The Zimbabwean tour of Pakistan ended. So first let's go on to that interesting one, and that is between New Zealand and England. As I said, England today resuming on their overnight total of 253, found things pretty tough. As I said, the new ball was absolutely fresh, and dew factor. There were cloudy conditions which were supporting the bowlers, and I have to say that the New Zealand bowlers definitely capitalized on that, with wickets going on pretty quickly. First, the wicket to go today was of Ian Bell. Now, Ian Bell has been really struggling, I would say, as far as this series is concerned. In fact, it has been quite a long time since his struggle has been going on, and today he was nipped up by Tim Southee, as he forced Ian Bell to poke at a ball outside the off stump, and Mark Craig took the edge. He was gone for 12 with 1-4 and 1-6. The next to go was Josh Butler. Now, this was a delivery which actually reared up, and while rearing up, the ball also straightened, and Butler, I'm sure, would have been surprised as the ball kissed the edge of the bat and it flew into the slips, and he was gone for 10 with 1-4, which made it 266 for 7. And Moeen Ali was consumed by Saudi. As I said, Saudi was swinging the ball beautifully, and he was the one who picked up all the 3 wickets. In fact, he went with the 4-wicket bag and he picked up 3 wickets. As Moeen Ali was dismissed, Guptill bowled Saudi for 1, and it was Mark Wood and Stuart Broad finally restoring some balance into this England batting by putting on a good partnership, almost a 51-run partnership, and they put it on in a pretty quick fashion, as Mark Wood contributed 19 and Stuart Broad was really into his attacking mode, as he was really playing some good strokes. And then finally we saw that Mark Craig was the one who brought an end to this partnership when he picked up the wicket of Mark Wood for 19 with 3 boundaries, and then finally Anderson came out, and still there was some fight left from 318. Anderson stayed along with Stuart Broad, and the score went on to 350. But when the score went on to 350, that was the time Matt Henry, who has not picked a single wicket in this particular innings, really struck it in the right way, at the right time, I would say, when the score was leveled at 350, when he actually ripped out the stumps of Stuart Broad, who made 46 with 5 fours and 1 6. Anderson was not out on 10 with 2 fours, and England, as I said, this is the 8th time in the annals of Test history that both the teams have ended up with identical scores in the first innings, and 350. So as I said, nothing to give or take there. And Tim Southee was the one. Yesterday we saw Trent Boult do it. Today it was Tim Southee all the way. 30 overs, 5 maidens, 83 runs and 4 wickets. 2 for 98 for Trent Boult. 1 for 92 for Matt Henry, the solitary wicket of Broad. 2 wickets for 48 for Mark Craig. And Mark Craig, I have to say, he's definitely improving, and he bowled superbly. I thought he bowled a beautiful line. 26 overs, 12 maidens, 48 runs and 2 wickets. Now, New Zealand in their second innings started off, and the start was not good at all. Stuart Broad coming in and picking up 2 early wickets. First, he picked up the wicket of Tom Latham, as Broad actually angled the ball into Latham, and Latham went to fish at it, and he was caught by Butler behind the stumps for 3, scoring no 4. So he was the first to go, and after that, Kane Williamson. Now Kane Williamson getting almost an identical delivery, probably the difference being, I think his wicket was taken by Anderson, if I'm not wrong, but well, I can really check the records whether his wicket was taken by Anderson in the first dig. Yes, Anderson took his wicket, but this time the bowler was the only difference. The bowler was Stuart Broad. It was an identical delivery, which actually was bowled a bit wide of the off stump, and Williamson decided to not have a go at it, basically trying to push at it, ended in the hands of Butler of Broad for 6 with 1 boundary, and 23 for 2. New Zealand were in some sort of strife. But after that, it was Martin Guptill who was looking good as Ross Taylor joined him, and suddenly we saw there was a real sense of urgency to proceedings. Probably it was under instructions from the attacking New Zealand captain Brendan McCullum. One does not know. We definitely saw a very good explosion of batting. Almost 72 runs scored between Martin Guptill and Ross Taylor, and both Ross Taylor and Martin Guptill started dealing in boundaries. And what a partnership! In fact, the partnership went on to 122. So a 99 runs partnership, and one could say it was absolutely played like something played in an absolute one-day mode, as both Guptill and Ross Taylor started picking boundaries at will, and the score started galloping. And definitely this was something which was needed, which really, I would say, grabbed the initiative from England's hands, and once again New Zealand started dictating things when the score reached 122. But with the score on 122, the 3rd wicket was taken, and this was now the turn for Mark Wood to come into his own. So once that explosion of runs took place, Mark Wood came in and picked up 2 wickets, like what Stuart Broad did. First he picked up the wicket, and now Wood was now bowling in the right areas, and he has looked a much improved bowler in this second innings, one thought, and immediately was rewarded as Taylor was the first to go, caught by Stokes of the bowling of Wood for 48 of as many balls with 5 fours and 1 6, and then Martin Guptill, who had crafted a neat 70 with 7 fours and 1 6, also fell a victim to the bowling of Mark Wood, who was bowling in the right areas, and he was gone, caught Wood for 70. In fact, so that made the score 141 for 4, and then once again the tide was stemmed by Brendan McCullum and BJ Watling. Now Brendan McCullum and today, but what one saw, I mean in the first inning we saw that Brendan McCullum went on like a train, but today Brendan McCullum realized that time is at hand, and he decided to really, I would say, he put down the shutters. In fact, he didn't really go for any rash strokes, no crash bang strokes there. At the other end, BJ Watling and Brendan McCullum decided to take his time and really go along with BJ Watling, the way BJ Watling was playing. In fact, by BJ Watling standards, one thought that knock that he played, in fact, went on to score in fifth. In fact, he was still there at close of play, not out on 100 with 13 fours and 1 6. And what a partnership! From 141 for 4, in fact, they got a very fruitful partnership, which, as I said, there was not much aggression, even though Brendan McCullum was at the crease, but the score continued to move along with, in the main, I would say, BJ Watling really, nurdling the runs, and Brendan McCullum also giving him a very good support, and this partnership yielded almost 121 runs, which was very important. It was a very important partnership. And then finally, when things were going on pretty well, that was the time Brendan McCullum got a ball from Mark Wood. The ball was bent in to Brendan McCullum, and Brendan McCullum, trying to play at it, got an inside, probably the inside edge was missed, and went on to hit his pads, and the umpire, Ravi, had actually raised the finger, and it was Brendan McCullum walking back to the pavilion. LBW bowled Wood for 55 with 3 fours and 1 6. And then Luke Ronchi came in, and he only played in his way that he normally does, and that is to go for the bowling. That's what he does, and he was doing that, but that was one too many. But once he got 31 with 3 fours and 1 6, Anderson, who had not picked a single wicket in this New Zealand second innings, struck by getting the wicket of Luke Ronchi, and then the score read 315 for 6 when Ronchi was gone. And finally, BJ Watling had to get to his century, and that was helped by Mark Craig. As you know, Mark Craig really is definitely a very good lower order batsman. He has already shown that to everybody here at the Headingley Leeds ground, where he made a very useful 40-odd runs in the first innings. And today he once again showed how difficult a customer he can be, and it also helped BJ Watling to reach his 5th Test century and also his first Test century against the Englishman. And Watling was not out on 100 at close of play with 13 fours and 1 6. Mark Craig was not out on 15 with 2 fours, and 338 for 6 was the New Zealand score. So that is a very good effort from New Zealand, I thought, to score 338 runs in a single day. That was a pretty good effort. And now I'm sure 4 wickets still there, but England have one ace in their pack tomorrow. That is on the 4th day, and that is the new ball is due. So the new ball, the cherry will be fresh, and I'm sure they would be thinking that James Anderson, Stuart Broad, Mark Wood would make rapid inroads with the new ball and try to see whether they can nip up some wickets and probably restrict the New Zealand to probably around 400 runs or even lesser than 400 runs. That would be the best bet for the English bowlers. But definitely, I would say that England definitely have something up their pack tomorrow. As I said, today we saw how Tim Southee bowled, so probably something of that sort had to be done by Anderson and Broad tomorrow early in the morning, so that they don't allow New Zealand to go on to a score of even 400. But let me tell you, if New Zealand get to a score of 400, then I'm telling you it's going to be, because we also saw in the evening that there was some variable bounce on the pitch. So the pitch the pitch definitely started changing the pattern, I would say, because towards the evening we saw that there was a little bit of variable bounce, and that is something that the New Zealand batsmen would be wary about, and it would be, and England would know that batting on this pitch on the last day could even prove a bit treacherous, with a lot of footmarks of the spinners being there. Well, as far as the bowling was concerned, Anderson 1 for 58, 16 overs 4 made 1 for 58 for him. Stuart Broad 13 overs 1 made 2 for 52, bowled superbly. Mark Wood also impressed, 14 overs 2 made 64 runs and 3 wickets, was the most successful wicket taker today. Ben Stokes 12 overs 1 made and none for 61. Moeen Ali 15 overs no made and none for 70, and Joe Root 5 overs no made and none for 23. So that is so I'm sure the 4 days play is definitely going to determine the things, and it is definitely going to tell us which is the team that is going to win this particular test match. And as I said, if New Zealand win this, well, they will be leveling the series, but as of now, if you look like New Zealand are looking strong favourites here, because they have put up a very good score on the board, and England have to do something pretty quickly tomorrow morning, or lest it could be too late for them. Now let's get on to the other match. The other match was between Zimbabwe and Pakistan. As I said, today was the last match of the tour, and it was the third one-day international. Even though it was played for formality's sake, we definitely saw some debuts coming in, as Roy Keane was given a chance. In fact, Babar Azam made his debut for Pakistan and he did well, and Roy Keane got an opportunity, but Roy Keane, we never saw him get on because he's a batsman, and because of the rain, Roy Keane was definitely robbed of an opportunity to show his wares on his international debut, unfortunately. Pakistan were the ones who actually batted first. They had a very good opening start today from Mohammad Hafiz and Azhar Ali. They started putting on runs on the board, and they were doing it in a pretty good fashion. They were going at a clip of 5 runs per over as they put on 115 runs for the first wicket, and the pace bowlers couldn't make much of an impression from Zimbabwe. And then finally, the man who really made the moves was Sikandar Raja, not only with his fielding and also not only with his bowling but also with his fielding, as he was involved in some runouts too today. And when the score reached 115, it was Azhar Ali who was brilliantly run out by Sikandar Raja for 46 with 59 balls with 4 fours and 1 6. And then the spinners really came in. In fact, Sikandar Raja was the one who, with his off breaks, was really troubling the batsman, and he picked up the wicket of Mohammad Hafiz when he had him LBW with a ball which was going actually the ball was pitched on the line of the leg stump, and Mohammad Hafiz trying to flick was trapped LBW for 80 of as many balls with 8 fours and 1 6. And that was the time. After that, we definitely saw some a lot of wickets falling for Pakistan, with Asad Shafiq dismissed by Sikandar Raza of 16 of 25 balls with 1 4, and then we saw the debutant Babar Azam come in, but Babar Azam couldn't get much of company. Shoaib Malik was run out very cheaply for 3, and Sarfaraz Ahmed entertained with his 25 of 23 balls with 3 fours. He was also a victim of the bowling of Sikandar Raza, and then the leg spinner Creamer clean bowled the other player Hamad Azam for 4, and then, as I said, it was all left to Babar Azam. Babar Azam was the one who was making his debut. He decided to knuckle down because he knew that they needed someone to stay at the wicket. Babar Azam was doing that, and Anwar Ali was the one who was providing the big hitting, and with Babar Azam contributing 54 of 60 balls with 4 fours, and Anwar Ali doing some big hitting to finish on an unbeaten 38 of just 23 deliveries with 2 fours and 2 sixes. In fact, Pakistan finished at 296 for 9, a pretty challenging total. Wahab Riaz was out for 13 of 10 balls with 1 4 and 1 6. Yasir Shah ran out not. Junaid Khan was not out on 5, and Pakistan finished on a very challenging total of 296 for 9. As far as the bowling was concerned, Pofu 6 overs was very costly. League 50 runs of his 6 overs with 2 wickets to show. Panyangra 8 overs none for 47. Chibaba bowled 4 overs for 23. Creamer 10 overs no made and 1 for 56. Masakaja 2 overs no made and none for 15. But the man who really bowled well was Sikandar Raza. Even though he gave away runs, he picked up 3 wickets in the bargain for 59 runs. Sean Williams bowling 10 overs no made and none for 42. So now it was the turn for Zimbabwe to chase the target and also salvage something by trying to, and I thought the Zimbabwean openers really started off in right fashion, and that was because they had almost had to score at a clip of 6 runs per over, but in fact they were much above the clip, if you say, even after the, they were really attacking the Pakistani bowlers. If you look at the bowling, Junaid Khan 3 overs cost him 23, Anwar Ali 2 overs went for 21, Wahab Riaz 2 overs he bowled went for 13, and Mohammad Hafiz 2 overs for 10. So no bowler was spared, and the Zimbabwean openers were absolutely screeching along, hitting beautiful boundaries and getting runs pretty quickly. Chamu Chubaba, who made 99 in the previous one-day international, contributed an unbeaten 39 of 27 balls with 4 fours. Vusi Sibanda looked much more convincing than what he was on the previous day, as he contributed an unbeaten 28 of 27 deliveries with 3 fours, and Zimbabwe were sitting at 68 for no loss after 9 overs, and that was at a run rate of 7.55 runs per over. So they're absolutely, I would say, they're absolutely on the mark, and probably hoping that they could put up a stiff fight here, but unfortunately all those hopes were quashed when the rain gods came in and the match had to be closed down, the match had to be called off, and that was it. So that thus ended the Zimbabwean tour of Pakistan. As I said, Pakistan would be very happy that international cricket came their way for the first time after a gap of 6 years, and Pakistan won the 3-match series 2-0, and Azhar Ali, the Pakistan captain, was named man of the series. Well, dear fans, friends, subscribers, I think that really brings an end to this cricket show of mine as far as this Sunday is concerned. On Monday we will look at, as I said, an interesting spectacle coming up on the 4th day between New Zealand and England. What a day that is going to be, and I'll be there to actually cover that particular day, the 4th day's play at Headingley in Leeds. And well, other than that, dear fans, friends, subscribers, I don't have, yes, one thing I would like to say here. This is coming from the NatWest T20 Blast, where the name itself suggests that there is going to be a blast, and there is one man who can blast on all cylinders, and that man we all know is the new recruit for Somerset, Chris Gayle of the West Indies, and today he definitely blasted on all cylinders, but unfortunately couldn't take his team over the line as they lost to Kent. But what thorough entertainment in that game between Somerset and Kent, where Chris Gayle smashed 115 runs, in which he scored 15 sixes. So that is absolutely something that crowds would have really loved it. And Chris Gayle, what a basher he is, what a dasher he is, and what a blaster he is. Well, that really ends up this cricket show of mine today on a Sunday, and hope to see you all tomorrow. Until then, it's goodbye for the day. Thank you.